set up, and yeah, we're swinging the bat every time, it's getting better. Yeah, I'd be excited to get there.
Awesome.
Do you have business cards for here?
Not yet. We're
Is it
still setting
Wildland
up.
Airport?
Yeah, wildlandreports.com.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, why we don't have these types of things is because we're kind of in the, development stage, and, we didn't want to open a faucet without making sure that we could get a flow. And so we kind of spent a lot of time in research and development and making sure that I can get it up here. Now I'm a TSA known cargo shipper, so we can move anything we want quickly without having to be like, oh man, we're caught up in customs and stuff like that, which has happened, But it's cool, it's a good thing. It's a great experience, and getting everything well documented is great. It helps a lot, because at the end of the day, we can provide these things, and yeah. Anyway, it's not like, where are you from? It's like, oh, it's organic right here.
And then I forgot to mention as well, can you please state your address just for the record?
1025 West Meadow, Hermiston, Oregon.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Any other comments, council, this time? No, awesome. Phenomenal, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
Best of luck to you.
See you all around.
Next, we have Josiah Barrett. Please state your address.
Yes, Josiah Barron. Address 457 Stevens Avenue. But here representing the Umatilla Chamber at 100 Klein Avenue. I'm excited to announce that we officially have our new website up. So it's got a lot cleaner look, at least I think. You all can take a look at it and see if you think so. But we've got a new revised member business directory, a lot easier to navigate than the previous website, and then as well a new events calendar, which I'll be getting populated with a lot more of the events, and our member partners will also have the opportunity to submit their events. And so that way the chamber site can be a more of a go-to place. I know before the website was a good site, but still some of like the calendar or the business directory were a little bit difficult to navigate for some people. But then I just wanted to mention a few other things real quick here for the month of February. If you like your soaps or your lotions or your lip balms at Evangeline Gifts, 50% off all Lori Lynn items for the month of February, at least until supplies last. And also right here in Umatilla, Uptown Floral, they're having a special, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And so if you haven't got those flowers for that special someone, Debbie and Tekla over just down the street at Uptown Floral, excellent job at doing arrangements. And then speaking of Umatilla Landing Days, I just wanted to remind everybody, the city Parks and Rec team, they've been working hard getting the site updated with new details. So if you go to the website, UmatillaLandingDays.org, they've got a lot of new information on there. And registration for food vendors, activity vendors, merch vendors is open. And also registration for the Marina Motors Car Show is also open. You can find all the information on there as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 7.1 through 7.3. That's the consent agenda. This time, is there any questions on the consent agenda, council?
No.
I do on the financial,
All right.
on the data invoices. Is there a way that JUB would get the U to Umatilla? I think we got a lot of projects. There's a lot of money going out there. That's crazy. I mean, it's good, but we haven't changed that either. I feel like we're giving somebody a raise. And then I see we donated for the investment of the economic development, the $1 million support as well.
Yeah, that, passed that resolution back in
Yeah.
the beginning of summer.
Yeah. And then did we have a donation to the hospital district under here too, I thought?
Yeah,
See that we're really moving ahead a lot with, Project PAC.
yeah, a lot of effort in the last quarter and
Yeah,
especially the last month.
that's awesome. That's, I think, all I have. Really. Looked like we had to replace a window at Boyd's.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Usually the minor stuff doesn't really come to me on that, but I know we did have some that were, the seal was broke on it, and so they're the old vinyl, original vinyl, was some good things.
we're good. I'll make a motion if you want me to, Mayor.
That'd be great.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3 as presented.
Thank you very much. Can I get a second for the motion, please?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? You four.
Favor, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Got the
I forgot about
one
the
second delay.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but the first time we ever had a name, but that's wild. All right. All right, moving on to discussion item 10.1, displaying the United States national motto, "In God We Trust."
So, Councilor Tenak, I can start, or you can introduce, however you'd like.
I am happy to. Councilor Funderburk and I went to the League of Oregon Cities last fall, and there were a group of lovely ladies there that have just put forth an amazing effort to put "In God We Trust" on the walls of all chambers, be cities, counties, states. It is our national motto, and it's on every single one of our bills that we spend every day. And I just thought that what a wonderful thing, and I just wanted to kind of bring that to council and open it up for discussion, and yeah, so I guess I'd hand it over to you, Dave, from here.
Okay, great. So I tried to put in my summary just some of the initial questions that you may have, or the public may have, on sort of the constitutionality. I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer for a moment, but I'll just point out from some of the legal opinion that is there. This group, In God We Trust America, as well as the attorney they partnered with, they have a legal opinion, and then they, and then this case obviously went before the United States Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in 2010, and where it was unanimously agreed that the motto is constitutional, and that displaying such, even in governmental facilities, is a reminder of our national heritage and identity. There were several other cases prior to the 10 ruling, as well as the specifically breaking up the notion of the separation of church and state, with that case in 2010 particularly went and reviewed. There are 3 counties in Oregon: Clackamas County, Klamath County, and Wallowa County, that have passed it in recent years. And there are, we could go onto the website. If you have, what does this look like? What have others done? We could show you what some other organizations have done throughout the country. If you want to get an idea for that. But other than that, I'm ready to answer any questions.
I would like to ask, can we bring that website up so that the rest of the council can see some of the examples that others have done, across the country already. And Jackie Sullivan was the one that's kind of the founder of In God We Trust America. And she actually, as a city councilman, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was 2001 in Bakersfield, California. She actually championed this, championed her council, and they actually, they did that right there in their own council chambers in Bakersfield, and then it just kind of went from there. So anyhow, I would like to have council see examples of what others have done already, if possible.
Yeah.
As you know.
1 second, we'll get that on screen. So this is just rolling it through. So you can take a look and see us, right? Also, anyway, move it a little quicker. People want to see about that. I think every organization that has adopted this, they've all taken it with their own unique approach to implementing for it. Sometimes it's directly behind the dais, other times it's on the sidewall, sometimes it's on a plaque, size, and everything else is all different. Not sure what questions you may have.
Can you make it smaller? Like not the picture I'm talking about, just in general. If we're gonna put a sign up, I'm concerned if it's too large, it's going to pick up.
There's still a full wall.
Can I ask Mr. Mayor to slow down and speak a little more just clearly? I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying.
Mic on that one too. Hopefully, can you hear me a little better there? Can you hear me better there?
Yes, thank you.
I'll use the mic, sorry. Just make it, I think some of them are massive. I think smaller is probably better. Definitely like, I think the City of Fresno's one is fine, where it says, maybe we make this a larger sign as a whole behind the dais. It says, City of Umatilla behind us, and then God We Trust below it. I think that would be more acceptable. My concern is if it's big, huge, massive like that one. It kind of distracts from what our goal is.
So if you guys give me $350,000 to remodel this room, I got that.
We talked about it. I mean, you said bring it to council.
We did not push a button to your model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's really kind of two questions as we work through the discussion here. One is there's a resolution that we could adopt. This says we support the display of this model at City Hall, and then that's number one. Then you can decide where, and then you can decide on sort of place and manner in which you want it to be displayed. So I don't know if we want to go down exactly, well, some general direction or general discussion, but I think would be good and helpful. But staff could bring this back at another time with some ideas or solutions. If we're like, yeah, we generally support we generally support it. We want this general size, this kind of way. We can come up with some ideas of what that might look like.
So my next concern is, so if we say In God We Trust, does that open the door to saying the textbook examples Flying Spaghetti Monster? It's the other religious group that commonly does this with the Church of Satan. Does this open the door to say, well, we posted a religious symbol, does the Church of Satan been like, well, we also get to post our religious symbol. If we hang one, we can hang all. Now, I'm not saying I'm not against this. I'm just saying, do we open this can of worms and put us in a situation where we could come one, come all?
You know what?
I say open it.
You guys, if you look, these were enacted in 2016, 2014, this was 2010. We're in a complete different time right now. Okay, do I think this is a great idea? Yes. Do I support it? I do, but I caution us because the way that the country is right now, it isn't that I don't stand up and raise a flag, which I do in my personal home as as a citizen of the United States, I'm definitely God and country, that's how I live. But in the same sense, I also understand that this is a house of the community, and I don't know that I want to go there with that. Only because we've had so much turmoil over the course of the last few years that I don't know that the time is right now. And that's my only concern. And
Do you wonder if that's why our nation's getting to be like it is though, it's because we haven't stood our ground?
I agree. I understand what you're saying. I just don't know that I want to be the first person to take the bullet. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And if we had a broader perspective of things, maybe, but just as much as I don't want the government telling me what to do, I don't want to just necessarily tell everybody else what we should do. Does that make sense? My personal opinion is when I sit here, I'm the voice for our citizens and our constituents. If they came to us and said, we want to have that, I would be flattered with that. Because I personally support it, but I don't want to take this church and state right now on for me personally. Now, if the council decides that we do this, I'll support it 100%. And I'm also going on record that I support it 100%. I just caution us as we go forward to have a broader perspective.
I see where you're coming from.
You see what I mean?
And I'm echoing your comment too, saying, I don't think we open this can of worms, I think
Right now, I don't, and I agree with you that the fact that who's gonna make the stand, right? Who's gonna be that forward gear? Because I understand that. Oh, I gotta speak in my microphone more, I'm sorry. I was speaking more than you guys. So I normally have a loud mouth, so they normally hear me as arrogant. But I just want to be that different perspective, that's all.
Sure. You gotta play devil's advocate, some things,
Yeah, and that's all. I just want us to be mindful of that, and I do appreciate, Rohit, you bringing it, and I know how passionate you are about it as well, and I do thank you for that.
Well, I'm really willing to run head first into it. Why not?
I am too somebody who's gotta start somewhere. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it has to start somewhere. If we don't put our foot down somewhere, if we don't push somewhere, then nobody's ever gonna get anywhere with anything. And I think, and that, like I said, you understand what you're saying, and gonna possibly open the law. But if we don't start somewhere, nothing will ever get open. Nothing will ever, I mean, that's our motto. Why not be proud of it? Why not put it up there and fight for something that we're proud of and that we love? I mean, like I said, I understand where you're coming from, but if we always sit back and don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen. There's not gonna be any fight, and it's just gonna get ran over and continue.
So I would ask that maybe we have a bigger discussion with our community members and let them have a voice on it as well. That would be my personal opinion. Not that we won't have a resounding support for it or not. I don't know.
At least we have a community behind our back.
Right.
At that point.
And that's what I mean. And as we all know, that's part of the problem in my opinion. And I've been in city government for a few years, and so is Rohit. A lot of times we forget that we're representing the city and we need to have their involvement.
Sure.
Part of the problem I believe we have right now is Washington DC doesn't know what's going on in the United States. So I just don't want us to be there. I don't want this room to be separated from Umatilla.
I can definitely agree to that.
You see what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I just want to make sure that we're making decisions based upon what their needs are, not what my needs are. I may disagree with stuff that's going on, but it's what they want.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
Run you over.
Chairman Wheeler has the floor. Yes.
Actually, two questions, because I totally agree with you, Darren. I think that it can be really easy for us to say yay or nay to things, and we're not thinking, because that's the biggest thing in my heart. Every time I say I'm on city council, I represent the citizens. So I would love if there's two things maybe we could do. If we had some different ideas of what it could look like in the community, have maybe some of those mock-ups, but then maybe put out a survey that people can volunteer to do. We put it on the different public forums and allow people to say, yes, I'm in agreement to it, no, I'm not, these are the ones that I like, and kind of kill two birds with one stone in that regard. Like, that was kind of my thought with it.
I like that. So can we add this hypothetically to the charter, so we could put it actually as a ballot measure, is that possible? We say that within the charter rules, we have section 38B that says the city of Umatilla in the charter needs to have a 6-inch by 4-foot
How we just-
sign in the council and the chambers.
But
What if
that's
we
like
just
trying to
adopt the
pick
model or
apart.
not?
Right. Right,
Yeah,
so we just.
then we can figure out the black side later.
Right, I
Yeah.
think, well, so I'm saying is like, we could say, put it in the charter though, that it puts it to the community in a way that
But I,
they vote on it directly.
yeah, and I just think that would be kind of cumbersome to go that route, but I think the bigger part of that is we just had open houses. Or we had something that went out, like a survey or something that, just to where we can get some data back.
Mhm.
That's the biggest piece, I think. Me personally, would that be acceptable, Dave?
Hold on, let me make some notes, make sure I'm gonna
Okay.
answer some of these discussion topics.
You can honestly do.
And Dave, do you have anything, any input on it? Like,
That's why I wanted to sit back, it's a discussion item for you, so this has been great. I'll answer the charter question first. So charter amendments, you can do those, and they can guide us however you want. Charter amendments require a double majority vote for amendment, meaning majority of voters have to participate in the election, and then the majority of those participants have to vote in favor of the change. So you, for example, you may get a vote where you get 60% of the people who voted said, yeah, make this change in the charter, but if only 30% of the registered voters attended, it fails.
right,
So that's why charter amendments are pretty rare and relatively difficult to get done. And they can get on, charter amendments can get onto the ballot in two ways. The council as a whole can bring it and vote to put it on the charter, so you can do that. And have and put it on an election, has to be drafted. Lots of hoops to jump through to get it ready, but we definitely can do it. Or it can come by means of referendum, meaning the public gets enough signatures and jumps through their own set of hoops they have to jump through to get an item on there for a charter amendment. So is it possible? Yes. There's just a lot of steps to get there. And so that's really up to you on how you might want to do that. To your earlier question, Mayor, on, could,
Flying spaghetti monster.
flying spaghetti monster or any other secular. So what's interesting here, and again, I'm not an attorney, we could have our attorney step in, but the legal opinion we have through the Pacific Justice Institute, and from just my general conversation that I had with our attorney, was that the cases that are here, including the 2010 through the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals, prior to that, there's a 4th Circuit decision made in 2005, and I know that seems like maybe it's a long time ago, and it is, but in the world of Supreme Court, 20 years ago is relatively new. But they differentiated a little bit. So what they held was that in that decision, a county board's decision authorized the inscription of Ngabwi Trust on a facade of a county government center. It did not constitute a violation of the Establishment Clause of the separation between church and state in the Constitution. Based upon what we mentioned here, that the motto is more of a historical and heritage than it is a secular thing. And so each of the courts, dating all the way back to looking at these court cases in this opinion to 1977, all the way through 2010, and there's only one newer one since, and I can't remember what it is. You might recall, I heard on the news, there's that coach that was praying on a football field, right? And they referenced the same sort of, these same laws here for that. But basically they're saying that we're not even talking about secularism here when it comes to, this is our national motto, and it's more of a heritage thing, and therefore it's allowed, and it's covered underneath the Constitution. And there's lots of interesting, I kind of went through a little bit of a deep dive here through Federalist papers that were quoted in these Supreme Court decisions and so on. So the legal opinion seems to be, and I can have our attorney speak to this later on if we move forward, if we want that, that having the motto on government facilities, it's been on county buildings, school buildings, municipalities, state, and our, in DC. It's on literally every type of government facility there, and it's been upheld in court for at least the last 5 decades. So, it seems to be pretty standard that it certainly is allowed. So that's where I'm delineating. If somebody else were to come and they wanted it as this sort of, so to your point on the establishment clause, if you make something available that's secular to one, you have to make it available to all in government buildings. What they tried to say here is, we're not even saying that this is secular. We're saying this is heritage rather than secular things. So that's some of the delineation or differentiation there, I suppose.
I mean, otherwise we'd have to change the pledge of allegiance too. One nation under the flying spaghetti monster, you know.
That's right. We've tried.
So with that, then, the next question was, on sort of a 2-for-1. We could create, I don't know what the right number is, let's just say a half dozen different type of mock-ups or ideas that could be there. And we could do 2 things. We could put a survey out to the community, that says it does kind of 2 things. Asking the first question, is this something that you would support? Just to get general idea of how much support there may or may not be. And we could do a small education thing that we believe that this is something that is legally allowed. And then on top of that, if yes, then which one of these would you prefer? Or even if you don't, which one of these maybe you could live with or whatever. I don't know how to phrase that yet. But we can put all that together and come up with something. I'd certainly put that in the movie.
Roy, what's your thoughts there, mister?
I believe that occasionally we have opportunities to do amazing and great things, and I think that this is one of those things that ranks pretty high up there, and I also believe that there will be others that will follow our lead. In fact, I believe there's already been some kind of preliminary communication regarding that we would, I think that very soon that there would be other communities that would follow along behind us. And I'm the one that brought it to this council for this discussion, and a excellent discussion, by the way, folks. I mean, that just makes me, I'm just beaming with pride for this council right now. And so, I mean, that's my thoughts are that this is something we should do, and to agree with Mayor Sipe that, nothing big and distasteful, but I certainly believe that that we should probably state that motto. Anyway, that's what I got.
Yeah, I think you can give us 6 examples. I think if you posted in those social media posts with the Google survey or whatever, say, which one of these do you like? And just say, here's where we're thinking. This is kind of what the council is thinking about, and then we just go from there. We look at that and still have these are all over that in case they differ.
Yeah, I think we can make this pretty short and sweet. Be able to read and click buttons in less than a minute. I mean, we can make this pretty quick and easy to understand.
So we make sure you specify too, it's about the heritage versus the flying.
So I think what I'll have on there is, I'll make the statement that we feel highly confident that this is something that's allowed and protected in the Constitution in many cases. If you want to understand that more, I'll write up a white page, just a 1-page white page, and have links. It's basically going to be what this is here from our legal opinion. Someone could read that too, and if they have additional questions, I'll just make my phone number available.
Well, to be honest with you, I think if we do it in that pattern, I think we'll get more acceptance. It's back to communication piece, right? Just kind of flow it out there and just kind of let it go from there. And then we'll have a better gauge idea. Again, we're from Eastern Oregon. I don't see a lot of pushback with us, but in the same sense, I want to make sure that we make the right decisions and we don't put something in somebody's face that, you know what I mean?
So what I'll ask, if I can, we're interviewing next week our the week after that, our communication and outreach coordinator with the hope that person comes on board around the first week of March. this is something I'd like to put this person on right away.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pause for about a month, so that we can, because right now our bandwidth is pretty full, especially if we're going into budget, and then also just candidly, I was out non-medically for 6 weeks and I am digging out of a very deep hole of backlog, so even putting together something like that is difficult, so if that's okay if we go a little bit slower, is that all right?
No, I agree with Mayor.
That's fine.
I agree with Mayor Site, that would be a great first project.
I think we're gonna give it to.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I forgot to do the second public comment. Is there any other public comment at this time? Thanks. Okay, moving on to my message. Good to see everyone. Glad to not be sick anymore. Glad to be here and standing upright, as Roy would say. So I appreciate standing upright and breathing air. So everything's going good. Things doing well. I'm really glad to see our conversation about the South Hill water update, getting that rectified and making things right and doing our best for our ability and moving forward. I think that's great. Other than that, things are going well. So thanks for being here at the meeting. Thank you to Wildland Coffee, guys, or Wildland Influence, right? Thanks for coming out and making a presentation. We're looking forward to seeing you guys at Rock the Locks and other big events, and hopefully Chris can get you in contact with our Parks and Rec director and get you guys some other events to attend and things like that. So looking forward to seeing you guys more in this meeting. That's awesome. Good luck, guys. All right, going on down the line, we're gonna start with Councilmember Thunderbird.
Well, I am just. Oh, sorry. Oh, I've already not doing a very good job. I'm glad everybody came tonight. Thank you for your presentation. We appreciate that. We hope that we can give you some good support, and thank you. I know it's not fun to do to come give a presentation, but hopefully you felt like this was a welcome place to come. So thank you so much. And again, thanks to the city for all you do all through all that major snow we had. We appreciate all the cleanup, all the, yeah. I saw the trucks all the time going around. So thank you so much. And that is about, oh, and thank you, Laura, for bringing up the Ingobri Trust. Those ladies really loved you. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Who doesn't love Roy?
I know.
I just wanted to say, back to Linda Getting, she was great. We worked for many, many years here. She was a wonderful member for our community, so she will be missed. So, I really don't have too much. I agree with the snow removal. It was good, and I don't think we see. It was good. That's all we got. Short and sweet. Short. I know. It's short.
You feeling the bit?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know.
Councilmember.
All right, thank you ladies for coming. Thank you very much, Casey and Zoe, correct? Because I didn't get up. Thank you guys, thank you all for coming. I'm excited. I pulled up your website on my phone already. I'm excited about coffee, trying new coffee. Because many times I've been to Mexico, I love the coffee down there, so. Thank you, Justin, for coming. And then I would like to say thank you for my nephew for showing up and checking it out. Growing young minds and letting them see what everything's about. Getting them involved too is very important. So thanks, Coop, for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Councilmember Wheeler.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to give some feedback. Josiah, I saw the Umatilla website that looks great. I love that it's a white background and even the symbols at the top of the social media, it's just right there. I also love how you've got like the city of Umatilla and you click on that, it's clean. It's just here's the hyperlink to it. You've got the school district, you've got the county, even the visitor center. All of that looks really good. And I saw the button for the newsletter. So awesome. I did notice on the Instagram account, I think you can put a button there that says like email or even like newsletter. So if you do that, also on the Facebook account, you don't have the Instagram linked. I know all that seems redundant, but when you can have all of them on the different places, then people know where they can go for that information.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah, I love it. And I also love that you're doing reels on Instagram because I know that that's growing massively there. And then the wildland import, I love your guys' website. It's so clean. I love all the pictures of your history, like, or not history, but like what you've been doing. I was curious, do you guys have an Instagram or any social media?
We're working on it.
Okay, I think that your guys' product would be so perfect on Instagram, especially if you do video content. That would, I think, grow really well, especially the fact that you have so much history tied to it coming from Mexico, and like all the pictures that you put up are amazing. Also, I know you mentioned you didn't have a business card, but if you have a presentation board like that, you can always have a QR code up there. So people can just go over and take their phone. It would immediately take them to your website or Instagram. So you can always do that if you don't have the cards too. But you guys, great work. I love it. Thank you. Sorry, that was my marketing brain going.
I appreciate everybody for showing up, and again, like, I'm a coffee junkie too, so like, I get your information before you guys split, so I can contact you and get some coffee directly, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, like, I know I've been hassling all you guys with this water pressure issue, probably you guys are thinking that we're thinking it's like an apocalypse or something up there in the hill. It feels like it to a degree. I mean, it really does, man. You've never showered with like no water pressure hardly. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I really do appreciate you sticking through it, dealing with complaints, and I've been getting my share up there too from other neighbors and stuff. But I really appreciate it. We'll get it figured out. So one of these days, I'll get all the soap off eventually. But anyway, and thank you, Rowan. I really like the idea. I really do like that, in God we trust, because we got to take a stand somewhere. We got to take the country back, and we got to stand on principle. If we don't stand on something, we fall for everything, right? Anyway, so I appreciate it. So thanks, everybody.
Councilmember Town, if you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to thank the gentleman that presented during public comment there. Appreciate that. And I don't know if it helped, but my little snow blower ran up and down the north side of Main Street 2 different times during that snowstorm. And I had fun. I couldn't believe how much fun it was to run a snowblower up and down the sidewalks of Main Street. It was incredible. I don't know where January went, because I looked up and all of a sudden it's February and it's like, what? So anyway, yeah, if that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I give a read a fun script that says the council will now meet in executive session for the purpose of consulting counsel regarding current litigation or litigation likely to be filed. The executive session is held pursuant to ORS 192-66028, which authorizes the council to consult with this council regarding current litigation or litigation likely to be filed. Representatives of the news media, city manager Stockdale, and department heads are allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room at this time. Representatives of the media are specified not to specified directly not to report on any deliberations during the executive session, except the statement in general subject of the session previously announced.